Ready to rumble. Hi guys, this is my third in my live videos for my YouTube channel of really cute little watercolor tutorials for beginners. If you're just tuning in, I had painted these backgrounds on here a couple of days ago, and I have 6 total different designs that we're going to be using. These are all for free on my website. You can click and just download and print them, and I have instructions on how you can transfer or trace them onto watercolor paper and use them as your own. And the intention for these videos is to provide just sort of fun, bite-sized little practice. They're all 20 minutes in length and perfect for creatives of all ages. I personally love to give these to my kids. Watercolors are really fun, safe medium to use because it comes out with water and kids love it. So it's a fun little mini mom vacation, or if you want to sit by the TV and get your mind off things, you can pop open a box of watercolor paints and enjoy. Today I'm going to go ahead and get started on these Gerber daisies, and the centers of them have sort of this interesting green dot. And mind you, and I show everybody in my videos, whenever I take paint from the paint palette, I make sure that I hold my brush almost horizontally. If you push the brush down into the paint, it breaks the bristles. So we always want to make sure that we're really gentle to keep our paint brushes nice and happy. Now the center dots on these Gerber daisies are the very, very middle, and these are sort of a greenish color. So I'm going to take, this is a size 6 paintbrush. I also have all of my products linked in my YouTube channel as well. So if you want to know specifically what palette I'm using and what brushes I'm using, these are all in there. Now these little green dots, I can see that one on this one, and then I think that might be, I can see a little bit of this one. And you guys are looking at my paper while I'm looking at a bouquet, so it's kind of hard. Unfair, but if you follow along with me, trust me on this, these 4 are really the only that we can see. Now, I'm going to dip my paintbrush back in my water, and actually, you know what? Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to do the leaves. I'm going to do my leaves in the same color, and that'll give everything else a chance to kind of dry when it's time for me to paint the flowers. So, the leaves are this one right here, and notice how I'm using the tip of my paintbrush to really get into these little details right here. There we go. Perfect. And then this right here, I'm actually going to take some of the water from this brush. There's a lot of water on that leaf. This right here is a leaf. This right here is a leaf. I got this one down here, and I'm bringing my paint all the way up so that it's going in between the petals. One right in here, and these will be a cute little pop of green too, really kind of break up the color. And you can of course paint your Gerber daisies whatever color you want. I would never want to stifle your creativity. You pick the color that you want. I'm going to go with sort of a peachy pink color. It helps to kind of think about where you'll be putting this in your home. This painting I'm going to put in my daughter's room, and she has a lot of sort of cute peaches and pinks and greens, so I feel like it'll go really well in there, but I would not put this in my blue and white family room necessarily. Okay, I think I've got all of our leaves done. this one a little bit darker. Next up, I'm going to paint my leaves. And when you look at Gerber daisies, they're actually quite a bit lighter. The stems are quite a bit lighter than the rest of the plant. So, being careful, whoops, not to touch it to my leaves, I'm just going to use a lot of water and just a little bit of paint. So that the stems are lighter than the leaves and everything else. And also, I'm so sorry, I know you guys all leave the sweetest comments when I post these videos, but the camera is actually over my head, so I'm not going to be able to see them, and I'm painting. But if you want, you can send me a message, and I will get it. And I'll be able to respond to you there, but I can't really talk and paint at the same time. And then I think we got one more little guy down in here. Fabulous. Okay. Now that these are all done, and I feel like my centers are already pretty dry, I can see in the middle it's a little bit shiny here, so I think I'm okay to start painting the rest of the center, but I just am going to be really cautious of touching any paint to that because I don't want the colors to run together. So now in the center of Gerber daisies, the next row, there's another little row of color, and it's usually yellow, or it's the same color as the petals of the flower. My Gerber daisies are yellow here. So I'm going to take this second yellow in, and I'm just going to dot. Oop, this is too much water. There we go. I'm just going to kind of dot the circle around my green patches, being careful not to touch it so that the colors don't run together. And by dotting it and not just painting lines and filling it in, it gives it a little bit more of a texture. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, I think in this flower I can see just a tiny little bit of the yellow. All right, that looks good. I'm going to give these a moment to dry, and while they're drying, I'm going to work on my bow. And I think for my bow, I might actually do, let's see, the flowers are going to be peach. I might go with a pink color, but do whatever color your heart desires. Maybe I'll actually go, well, we'll try this one. I might regret it later, hopefully not. Okay, actually, for this one, I'm going to switch to my size 4 brush. And I'm going to use the same brush to do the petals as well. It's a little bit smaller, and it'll just make it so that I can get into the nooks and crannies of the bow and the individual petals just a little bit easier. So for my bow, I'm going to start here, again using the point to sort of line up with the edge of my bow. Oh no, this is a cute pink. I'm happy with this. She's gonna love it. it's all done, and it looks like for the most part, this part's a little bit shiny. These look like they're sort of dry up top. I'm gonna be okay starting with my middle. I actually might start from the flower all the way on the left because I just don't want to stick my hand in paint. Okay, now let's see. This color, I was debating between this one and this one. I think I might actually go with this route. I think it'll look cuter with the bow, the cooler pink. Let's see. And you can certainly mix your paint as well. These palettes make it really fun to do that. You can just take a little bit of your paint and put it in these dots, and this acts sort of like a little tray. Can you see this on here? Yeah, so these are rounded out. You can add, this acts as a little tray, so you can take some paint from your palette and mix your colors in here if you want to. But I'm not going to do that today because I'm keeping this just to my beginners, but please feel free. Okay, so it looks like there's a petal here and one here, and I'm just going to kind of lay paint down, being careful not to touch the center. And I'm going to paint each petal individually. What do we think, guys? I'm pretty happy with this color. Another really fun fact about watercolors that I think a lot of people don't know is that if you feel like your paper is getting bumpy or wrinkly the more you add water to it, you can actually, it will probably flatten out in the frame when you put it in a frame, or you can actually cover it with a paper towel or a pillowcase and give it a quick blast with the iron and it'll flatten itself back out. Definitely do that with parental supervision though, if you're a kiddo watching this. All right, ready to start on my middle flower. Again, just being careful to work left from right, left to right so that I don't put my hand in my paint. And this little spot in here is just kind of a bunch of petals. There's a flower that's down in here and kind of squished upward. So I'm just sort of throwing in some petals in the middle, pointing upward. Ooh, excuse me. And this is another one that's just kind of squished. We're looking at the underside of this flower. All right, now I feel like I've got all these petals pretty well painted in, but there's some areas when I look at my bouquet that are a little bit darker than others. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a lot of paint and I'm just going to put a couple lines in between some of the petals, and anywhere that I see a shadow, I'm going to add just a little bit more paint. You can leave yours as is. I'm sure it looks absolutely fabulous. I like this step because I feel like it kind of makes it look a little bit more finished. And then a couple just kind of closer to sort of the center. All right, everybody. I'm feeling pretty good about everything that's happening here. I'm going to go ahead and save this video and I'll post it on YouTube shortly. The easiest way to keep track of my YouTube videos is to subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you can also subscribe to my newsletter where I post all of my exciting events and future happenings. If you're local, I would love to see you in one of my in-person classes for sure. But please feel free to give me a wave, and if you try these, send me pictures because I love seeing these in the wild. Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope that you enjoyed this fun, quick little bite-sized creative practice. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.